Welcome, welcome to another Contemplative Living. I'm Dave Bennett, and I'll be your host as we go through some contemplative thoughts for this week and what we shared last week. All right. But before we get started, I want to announce that the winner of the contest was to win a copy of the book A Voice as Old as Time. It was Judy Cook. So congratulations, Judy. I'll be sending out. Well, actually, I'll contact you because you can I'll either gift you a Kindle version or I will mail out a signed copy of the book. All right. So great. So this was a good week. We did a lot this week, um, and we'll start right out with this one. And I mean, this is the root of it all. We recognize love is at the heart of all things. Love is what we are. So when you talk to a lot of people that have crossed over and come back and had near death experiences or other spiritually transformative experiences, the one thing you always hear is that, love is everything. Everything is love. It's a common theme. But here we are living this life, forging our way through life. And a lot of times we feel so separated. We feel so isolated. And we lose track of the fact that love is at the heart of all things, that love is the essence that puts it all together, and that we are love and we are loved. I didn't realize that until I had my NDE. And then I saw, Judy, great. You're on. Yeah, you'll be getting the book. Just let me know how you want me to do it, and I'll send it out to you. But love is everything, and it's so empowering to know that we are loved, and we're loved unconditionally. It was earth shattering for me to learn that because I didn't realize how loved that I was until I had my near death experience. And now I rely on that knowing. I rely on that and I move forward. And if you haven't had a direct experience with that unconditional love of the universe, of oneness, then if you can just accept that it's there and that it's supporting you, and open your heart to it. And then you recognize that you are part of that love. Love is what we are. So I've got my patriotic shirt on today, if you didn't notice. So anyway, that love is just so empowering to be a part of. And we know that that it can change our lives when we can live with just that love. So it all begins with self-awareness, where we reflect on the deeper meaning of our divine realization. So we were talking about love, we are love, but we have to be self-aware to recognize that. And so once we start to realize or open up, we can reflect on the deeper meaning of our own divineness, because we are connected. We're all interconnected with each other, but also with our higher, greater divine essence. And that divine essence resides in the oneness, what we can all you know, consider God, Goddess, all that is, we are a part of that. And a portion of that light, of that essence of our true being, is with us always. So that we need to open up our own awareness, our own self awareness, so that we can look at that deeper sense of who we really are. Now, when we do that, we find ourselves in a state of expansion. We find ourselves being who we really are. So it's critical to be able to live in a heart-centered, loving intention, peace-filled life, that we open up our awareness and look inward. And and you hear me all the time talk about how I am an advocate for meditation, and I practice contemplative meditation. And so I believe that meditation is the beginning of it all. So this next one is knowing our essential nature as love. Now that's how we started out. But knowing it as love, kindness, joy, peace, and generosity. And when we bring all of those facets into our life, we spontaneously attract those qualities. And life begins to be smoother. It begins to flow. And you can recognize that you're living in your essential nature when life smooths out. When life is being chaotic, which it tends to be frequently, and as human beings, unfortunately, that's a part of living, then we tend to kind of move away from our center, away from our essential nature, and we get caught up in all the circumstances. Well, that's what contemplative living is all about, is to be able to recognize when that is happening and move back into our center and move back into our essential nature so that we can live as love, kindness, joy, peace, and generosity. Though that way, when we're living that, the universe recognizes that and feeds more of that into our lives. I mean, isn't that amazing? I just when I fell upon this concept years ago and I started living it. Actually, Cindy was the one who kind of really reinforced it into me at one point. She told me, you have to let go and start living this way. And when I did, it was amazing how, and it was frightening at first. I have to admit, it was very frightening at first. But when I did, and I started living out of my essential nature, then things really smoothed out and life began to flow. Now this one, this one is a little more fun. It's a little more lighthearted. And, you know, ultimately we have the power to choose how we show up and interact in this world. And, if we come from a place of joy, if we come from a place of gratitude, the circumstances can be harsh all around us. Last week we talked about, being the pillar in the heart of the storm type of thing. But if we come at it from a place of generosity and joy, then that, we have the power to choose that and to choose that as a way of living our life. A smile in a tense situation can diffuse so much anxiety. All we have to do is choose to be that way, to choose to smile and to interact with everyone we meet in a positive manner. Some people may think you're a little too whimsical, but yeah, let's be whimsical. I mean, come on. We get to choose how we interact in this world. And the way that we interact is, when we put out a positive energy, the universe reciprocates and gives us back some positive energy. So this one made me smile when Spirit and I were having this conversation and developing this meme. It was just I just had this joy, this warmth in my heart, and it was it was amazing to go with this one. Whoops, went a little too far here. Oops, I'm having a little technical difficulty here, so stand by. Oops. Yeah, I'm really having some technical difficulty. So, okay, the next one is we're talking about a choice, how we live our life. A choice for love brings the flow of love. That's kind of like what we were just talking about. What choices are being made? Now, this is about our choices as well, not just our choice in how we want to interact, but actually our choice points when we have to make a choice. And we make choices all day long. It's a constant part of being human and living a life is we're always making choices. Now, choices are not so much the um, being judgmental or something like that. It's our like what am I going to wear today? What route am I going to take on my way to work? All these little things. But if we use love as our bearing, use love as our guidance, when we do these things, it empowers us. So when we're putting on that patriotic shirt that we're wearing today, do it with love. Do it with love. It's so important that we try to maintain that. And as we do it, at first it requires an effort to maintain and think about it. But the more we do it, it becomes more of a habit. And as we develop that habit, it's just so much more empowering way of living life. Hey Ken, good morning. Glad to see you're here. So try to not get so technically involved. So we've been talking a lot about awareness this morning. And the magnificent power of awareness brings a tremendous resurgence of growth and rebirth in our world, silently yet beautifully. You see, that's the neat thing about the universe is it brings, when we place our awareness, our conscious awareness with loving intention, and we bring that into our essence, into our higher consciousness, then there's this energy that expands. Hi, Gail. Good morning. And with that expansion, and it's quiet, it's beautiful. It's the neat thing about it is it's so quiet and so subtle. But the more you work with it, the more you work with your awareness, then you begin to experience. You get to experience that energy. You get to experience how you're growing and see the unfolding of your path, of your life. Tammy, hey, good morning. It's great to see you. And when we do this, when we live this way, we can move forward, and with it comes this incredible, I hate to use the word power because it's so misused today, but it's like there's a wave that comes with us, and so it's like our aura expands, and when we walk into a space, it comes with us. And with it, if we're living from that place of love, if we're living from that place of joy and of gratitude, it comes with us, and it permeates into the space that we occupy. That is incredibly powerful, and it's silent, and that's the beauty of it. Is it's funny because people will recognize it. They won't understand what it is, but they recognize it and they respect it because it's pure. And that's how we kind of want to live our lives, right? We want to live our lives in that pure state of being. So now I've totally lost track of where my stuff is. Okay, so the last one, the one that I put out this morning. When we embrace the oneness of consciousness, when we embrace the oneness of consciousness as it is, we harness the tremendous power of wholeness. Now, isn't that where we're all seeking? We're all seeking to be whole, to be connected with our true nature, our higher essence, and be living in this human form, this life that we have, this physicality that we have. Well, I love this illustration of the dandelion because if you think of yourself as a seed of light that is interconnected with all the other seeds of light, that we compose this wholeness of oneness. We are recognizing, and that's part of what we've been talking about, is that awareness and our self-awareness. We begin to recognize that we are a part of oneness. We are a sliver of light. That's the way I experienced it in my near-death experience. But we are a sliver of light that is part of the dance of creation with oneness. And so we contribute our light, we contribute our seed of awareness. And yes, because we're living in this physical life, we can separate, just like a dandelion, the seeds are scattered, okay? The wind blows and we are carried along, and we carry that light with us. And eventually we ground again, and we are rebirthed. We were talking about rebirth just a second ago as a new interconnected being of light with all the others, and we start the whole cycle over again and over and over. And that's the beauty of living in life. A lot of times it seems like life is cyclical, that we are always going around and around. Well, it's true, we are. But that's the beauty of it, is when we recognize where we are in the cycle. Are we in the free floating, I'm a being of light, or are we in the grounded, I need to spread my roots and get recentered, and then I can come forth and bloom again? So it's amazing how, when we bring ourselves to that point of self-awareness, we grow and we begin to bloom. And isn't that what it's really all about? So this week we're going to do the same thing again. If you want to have a chance to win a copy of Voice as Old as Time, I hope that you will share this live stream either on Facebook or on YouTube, and I will pick a winner. And please friend me or like me or whatever, wherever you find this stream. And don't be afraid to reach out. So have a happy day, happy week, and God bless. Namaste.